Welcome back to the Halloween 365 podcast.
It is the only podcast that is horror 24/7 and Halloween 365.
And there are 212 days left until Halloween.
How's that make you feel?
Excited.
What?
Because that just means the year has went by super fast already. Like we're almost down into the 100 marks. I like it. I'm excited, but yes.
Well, I think it's very exciting. And we're just getting closer and closer to Halloween.
Speaking of which, have either of you seen on social media, by the way, today's April Fool's, everybody that's listening. Episode's coming out the day after April Fool's, but have either of you seen people on social media sharing happy halfway to October?
I have not.
I seen something that was like halfway, it said halfway to spooky season, but not halfway to
October. Yeah. So it's everywhere. A lot of the creators are putting it up. And it perplexed me a little, because if you are counting from January, halfway to October is not until May, because you start January, there's 10 months until October, half of that's 5. So I was quite confused why everybody was doing today, and I was assuming that it was an April Fool's joke. Right? Is that not a safe assumption? Can you see why they would say today is halfway to October?
Yeah. Because people do the same thing for Christmas.
We're not asking you.
Oh, okay.
Because you already know what I'm talking about, so you can't answer.
All right.
I'm going with what she said because people do the same thing with Christmas. No, but I would say
if you were counting halfway to October, when would you start?
From Halloween of last year.
Why would you start from Halloween? If we're not counting to Halloween, we're counting to October.
Because that's when.
Oh.
So you would start from October 1st.
So you would count in 2025.
Yeah, because it's a full year, right?
Well, I mean, as a podcast host, I would start counting in 2026.
Well, yeah. So I mean, if you did, so yeah. So halfway to October, there's only 10 months. Half of a year, 6. 6
months
going is June.
To 12 though. But if you're counting from October 1st, 2025, then it's today. If you're counting from January 1st, 2026, then it's not until May 17th.
So they're counting from last year.
They're counting from last year. So essentially, it's vibes over math. It's people clamoring for a little bit of spooky vibes. So they're like, oh, well, we've been counting since last year for October to start. Come on. When October started last year, you weren't counting down the days until October came back around. You were enjoying the month. You didn't start counting until January. Let's be real about it. Because you had Thanksgiving in there. You had Christmas in there. You didn't start thinking about October again until, January. When shit was not going on. When nothing was happening. Let's be logical. Not for the views, not for the clicks. Let's be logical. I mean, I get it, but
yeah, but I mean, if you're trying to count down just because of the holidays and shit, like,
yeah, I know, but I mean, like in the middle of Thanksgiving, you're not going, wow, a few more months until October. You don't start thinking about that shit until after the holidays is over, which is January.
You have a point. You do have a point.
I'm just saying, like, because once we hit October this year, right? October 1st, I'm thinking about Halloween coming up. I'm not counting down the fucking months until October rolls around again.
Well, so, like I said, for Christmas, as soon as Christmas is over, people immediately start counting down until the day that Christmas comes back.
Right, which is what we do with Halloween, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah. So you're just doing it backwards, or a little differently, which is fine.
Which is because I've been noticing this pattern over the past few months where several Halloween influencers, we will call them, are saying that specific days are halfway to Halloween and so on and so forth. So my question to you guys is, would you start counting halfway to Halloween from January?
I mean, yeah, because well, technically, if you want to go with how things really are supposed to be, the first of the year technically supposed to be around this time, April. So
yeah, businesses and everything else would count halfway to Halloween from January, not from. Am I confused by this?
No, because when you do look up like how many days until Halloween from January, it's still 213 days. So most countdowns that you'll find are still like counting from January. Oh wait, no, yeah, that's true. That's true.
The halfway mark. I'm so confused by this. Everybody's picking a different date to count down from. Me personally, we start the new year January. I'm counting from January. I'm not. I don't know. Maybe it's
well, see,
just
you
me.
ever played that game Kerplunk? That's what you guys just done with my head just now, like Kerplunk.
See, this, okay. Everybody that's listening is like, what the fuck's this got to do with anything? It's just been under my skin today. So I was just like, I don't know. Doesn't make sense to me.
Oh yeah.
It has been. You've been very passionate about this topic.
Because I see, when I first saw it, I was counting from January, as I am right now, for the month of October. So, like, whenever I saw it, I was like, what is this? Just people fishing for clicks? Like, you had to find a reason to put something out there that would get a bunch of people clicking and commenting? Like, maybe I'm bitter.
Well, I mean, I think a lot of people just try to put it as like we're just bypassing these other holidays, like, which I mean, you can, because I'm not much of a Christmas celebrator, but Thanksgiving I celebrate. I like the concept of Valentine's Day, but I hate the holiday. But so
I don't know. I start my halfway to Halloween countdown from January. I'm starting.
I mean, it makes sense. It does make sense. So
yeah, if you go by, I guess, the American New Year,
like
and
if we
Canadian,
just do days until Halloween, then it's going to pick up from whatever day that you're doing it at, right? I mean, like that's what happens every time that we look up days until Halloween. But if you're trying to find the midpoint in the year in 2026 of the halfway to Halloween, it starts counting from January.
Sure.
She's just saying
Ladies
sure.
Ladies and gentlemen, we hope to scrabble your brain at the beginning
okay.
of
That's not
August,
what this episode's about. It's just shit that I was getting off my chest. This episode is about the Brown Mountain Lights in North Carolina, and what they are, what they might be, what they could be. Are they real? Are they scientific? Are they aliens? Are they cryptids?
Are they ghosts?
Yeah, that's
we're
what this
here
episode.
To talk about it.
Yeah. We're gonna do a little bit of a dive. Which, even though I just got done watching a bunch of things about it, I can't remember the name of the area. If you don't mind,
it was Linville.
Pull up the information for us, Cass. in the meantime, have either one of you seen that they're doing a Hellraiser prequel?
Yes.
I did not know this.
Hulu.
There's another prequel I'll mention.
Hulu is doing it, and I mean that's the only real information that we've gotten of it, is that it's going to be a Hellraiser prequel, and Hulu's doing it. But we also, have you guys heard about them doing another Jaws movie?
Oh my gosh, I would be so excited for that.
With Scarlett Johansson.
She's everywhere right now. She's becoming the new female face of horror at her elder age. And I don't even want to say elder because she's not that old, but she's making a resurgence in her career away from the superhero BS.
Well, I mean, she did what, Jurassic Park?
Well, and she's going to be in the new Exorcist.
Well, and it's her that's in that new Abrams movie, right? About how the entire neighborhood gets put back in time with dinosaurs and shit. Is that her?
I have no idea.
A lot of people, they want to consider, like, when you say a dinosaur movie, they're like, that's a scary movie. That's a different type of scary, in my opinion.
Well, yeah, it's a creature feature.
Yeah.
I would put it in the category of creature feature.
Too, yeah. They're creatures. And they're being featured.
Yeah, see? Good old Eli Roth is back, too, by the way. That's something else that's happening. Eli Roth is back with the new film. He's coming back. He did Thanksgiving, didn't he, Jeremy? That was Eli?
Pretty positive it was Eli. And if you haven't seen Thanksgiving, that is a fantastic movie.
He's trying to create his own slashers, which is cool. He's actually going out on a limb.
Is it Thanksgiving or Thanksgiving?
No, it's Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving.
Yeah,
okay.
It's a guy dressed up as a pilgrim killing people, but it's old school slasher style.
Yeah, I thought it was called Thanksgiving for some reason.
I think there might be a movie called Thanksgiving.
They probably did do a spoof of it and call it Thanksgiving. Or maybe there was something called Thanksgiving before he did Thanksgiving.
Did you see who else is, well, he's always in and out of the studio with horror movies and things like that. Making his way back to one of his firsts is James Wan with a prequel to Dead Silence.
It's Cassidy's favorite, old James Wan.
He's the director of *Malignant*, isn't he?
I think he had a part to play with
*Malignant*. Producer, director, or something of that nature.
He done Insidious, Saw, Dead Silence, The Conjuring. He's that guy. Saw was like his Saw was his baby, and then his next one in line was Dead Silence.
He also did Aquaman and Furious 7.
Well, we're not talking about those. Aquaman. So at some point, the studio comes to you, and you're like,
he did do Insidious, which I loved Insidious. So.
And he directed *Malignant*, and I will never forgive him for that.
He did direct *Malignant*. Yeah, he did.
I still haven't seen it.
Don't even bother.
Trash.
It'll make you mad.
But what I was saying
I just hate how like nonchalantly Beard just skips over like Dead Silence. He's like, oh yeah,
no, that's cool. It's great. I like Dead Silence. Dead Silence is good.
The only good one he's made.
It was original. No, not the only good one. Insidious. I love Insidious.
The first Saw wasn't horrible.
First Saw was arguably the best Saw.
So hold on, wait, what were you going to say about the first Insidious?
The first Insidious is the best.
Oh yeah, of course. But I will say the sequel matched with it perfectly.
The sequel lined up very well. Because then you see that the dad was the one making all the ghost noises and shit because he's trying to break into the house from the other realm. It's not a ghost that's making all those crazy noises and shit. It's the dad trying to break into the house to save his son.
Maybe I've not seen it.
Oh, you need to. Watching it back to back makes it like
better.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it's like him making those noises, except for the crazy guy with the slick back hair on the porch.
Yeah.
He's
like
still
all
no
the crazy ghost noises. Okay, so you remember in the first Insidious, whenever their front door gets kicked open and the alarm's going off, and he runs down and he's like, "What the fuck?" and he shuts the door and cuts the alarm off, and they never explain it.
Yeah,
that's the dad kicking the door open from the other realm.
That's cool. I like that.
But what I was saying is Eli Roth has been on a tangent of attempting to make new slashers, which is cool. So because he's got a new one coming out, and I don't know. I'm assuming that it is a summer release. It would make sense if it was a summer release. But it's called Ice Cream Man.
Get out.
Ice Cream Man?
Ice Cream Man.
Is it a remake?
Because
there is an old school Ice Cream Man movie.
Tagline is
disgusting.
Ice cream, you scream, we all scream for Ice Cream Man.
I bet it is. I bet it is.
I know what old movie you're talking about. It's Ron Howard's brother.
August 7th.
Yes.
It's being released August 7th. It is Ice Cream Man follows an idyllic summer town that is descending into madness when an ice cream man serves kids sweet delights with horrifying results. I think we talked about this before. I think it is like him remaking the old Ice Cream Man.
It's like the same plot.
See, I can't take that serious though, because if you ever watch the movie I Saw the TV Glow, there's like a So there's an episode of the TV show where there's that creepy ice cream dude. So I'm just like, that's what I think in my head. Yeah.
Germ, you'll like this. Roth's only comments on it is, I want this to be the craziest film that I have ever made. And what I mean is, I want it to outdo Hostel, Green Inferno, and Cabin Fever in terms of batshit craziness.
I was going to say, if he thinks it's going to outdo Green Inferno, then
he thinks he's wanting the craziness to outdo Green Inferno.
That was crazy, and to people who haven't seen that movie is fucking nuts. But I love it.
Snoop Dogg's contributing the music to the soundtrack of this, by the way.
Oh my god,
lost me.
August 7th, a new horror summer flick coming for everybody. I'm kind of wanting to see this.
It'll be campy for sure.
Thanksgiving was.
And yeah, and it's
Hold on. Yeah, Thanksgiving wasn't complete. I won't say it was completely campy.
No, not completely.
No,
but it has campy stuff. All slasher movies, in my opinion, have some sort of campiness to them.
Yeah, but I think that was the first slasher movie that caught my attention, because I have tried now twice, guys. I'm sorry, just real quick. I've tried now twice to watch, what's his name? Follow the Killer Through the Woods with the Hook.
Oh,
I don't know.
From the killer's point of view, Beard
likes it. We saw that in theaters.
Yeah, he's got my DVD, I think.
What's it called? I can't remember.
No, I don't have the DVD.
Well, maybe it's over here.
But yeah, it's like it's all from the killer's perspective.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I got bored and fell asleep twice.
I will say it was a little boring, but
it is boring because it's from their perspective. It's them walking through the woods. It's not like a lot of dialogue.
In a violent nature.
Which they're doing a part 2. I'm excited for that. I like it because it's a completely different take on the killer. We're seeing it from his perspective and nobody else's, except for the very end.
Yeah.
Well, I guess the thing that gets me about it is, like, when I was watching it, it's kind of like the reason why I didn't want to watch the movie My Dog Max, or whatever it's called, Fido, where I'm making names up.
Good Boy?
Yeah, Good Boy.
Oh, Good Boy, yeah.
It's like, it seems like a good idea to see it from the dog's perspective, but then once you're seeing it, you're like,
Good Boy,
what the fuck is this?
Good Boy wasn't horrible.
It wasn't horrible, but it could have been done better.
I'll tell you this. So, it's not your normal horror movie. It is a dog horror movie, if that makes sense.
It is a dog horror movie.
So, if you were to think about things that your dog would be terrified of, it's Good Boy. That's what the whole thing is. It's based on a dog's sixth sense and the stuff that, you know how like dogs will randomly bark and they say that it could be a ghost or this, that, and the other. That whole movie is playing off of that.
Yeah.
And so
it's a cool premise, but I still feel like it could have been a little better.
It could have.
Yeah.
I guess it depends on what you're going to the movie expecting. Like if you're expecting, because it was marketed as like paranormal,
It was.
but it's not really paranormal. I guess it is.
No, well, don't spoil it for people.
Well,
but
I'm
yeah.
not. I'm just saying paranormal. The definition would be to be not normal. It's the opposite. It's it's like
It's different.
supernatural. It's not natural. It's supernatural. So it's definitely in those guidelines.
Anyways, Brown Mountain Lights. So you were wanting to know the location of them, right?
Yeah, I couldn't remember the location. And the rock. I couldn't remember the rock. Kitchen Rock? No.
No, it was like Wiseman.
No,
View?
Wiseman's. Jesus fuck.
Sorry,
Wiseman's
we've all-
Point.
Something like that.
There's a rock
It's
that goes right across from the mountain that you can see. Something rock.
Right. But it is located in Burke and Caldwell counties, in the western part of North Carolina. It is within like the Pisgah National Forest. I don't know if that's how you say it. Is it Pisgah? Pisgah?
Something like that.
I was going to say it's got to be some Native American word that we can't pronounce.
Pisgah. Yeah, but it's up in those parts.
So essentially, the Brown Mountain Lights are orbs, aka ghostly lights, in Brown Mountain, North Carolina. The earliest published references to these lights happened in 1910. 1910, like I said, published earliest references, but that is not the earliest sighting. The earliest written sighting happened in the 1700s, whenever everything was colonies. So everybody's first automatic reaction is like, it's lights that are bouncing off of the mountains or reflecting and stuff. There wasn't lights like that in the 1700s. There's a point where a government geologist comes and takes a look at it in the early 1900s, because there's so many people reporting it and talking about it, and then he attributes it to being the light of a train, and that us hillbillies didn't know what that was, and so we said it was ghost lights. we never seen a fucking train before, and so he saw that and he left. When in reality, they had been seen a lot further, a lot earlier in time, when there weren't trains, when there weren't electrical lights, and where there were barely any settlements around. So essentially, and they're still being seen to this day. The thing about these lights is that you can't just walk up on the mountain and see them whenever you want. They happen very randomly, and it's a rare occurrence for you to see them, but people do still see them and do still take pictures and videos of them. It's not just an orb of light. It'll start out that way, and then it turns into a stream of this light, and it will change colors, and it will start coming out of the base of the trees, go to the top of the trees, and work its way around the giant rock that's across the mountain, and then go down toward the river, or vice versa. Come up from the valley and start going up the mountain into the trees, so on and so forth. It'll sit still, it'll expand, it'll shrink, it'll do all of these different things, and have been reported numerous times.
Yeah, and it says it's one of the most haunted places in North Carolina, and it's like still to this day, one of the rare occurrences that you can see it from is Table Rock near Wiseman's
Table Rock,
View.
that's it, yeah.
Yeah.
Table Rock.
So go ahead.
So it is one of the most haunted places. Like, people see other things besides these lights?
Well, it's saying because I guess there was a book wrote about it. It's called The Legend of the Brown Mountain Lights. It was greatly popularized, and making it the most popular ghost story in North Carolina. Also, one of the oldest report of a strange light near Brown Mountain. But they also try to say at Table Rock, whenever you see these lights, where the viewpoint is that, like what Beard kind of mentioned earlier, they could be mistaken as car lights or headlights from hikers or hikers with flashlights, stuff like that.
Yeah, campfires, so on and so forth. But if you look at the pictures, and if you talk to the locals, the people that are seeing them often, they will tell you that they're not retarded. Yeah, I used the R word. That they clearly know what flashlights and campfires look like, and car headlights, and so on and so forth. So it's not just a bunch of dumb hillbillies that are going, my God, look at that technological marvel. That's not what the fuck it is. So if you think
Yeah.
that and you're listening, you can stick it up your hole, because that's not the case. We know what a light is. We know what trains are. Hell, we even know what scientific possibilities that it could be. So
This is when you listen to old grandma on her rocking chair and say, nope, them haints up there. Don't go there.
Haints.
Yeah.
Paints.
Yeah. Hainter's gonna haint.
I mean, you can't rule out the possibility of like flashlights, ATVs.
No,
other
those are
things,
spotted, but
especially
these are-
today.
Those are
Yeah.
spotted, but those are clear what those are. There's a big cat ass that just stomped my fucking laptop. Those are clear as to what they are. And they have sent...
With a dog.
Well, it's really just Ron Weasley flying that car through the mountains.
They have sent
Honestly.
government geologists many a times. There have been many universities there. All of them contributed to either unexplainable or lights from a train, partially lights from moonshiners, partially this, partially that. But it doesn't match any of those descriptions. If you look at it, you watch the videos, none of those could be the case. And trust me, we know what the moonshine lights look like.
I was literally about to say, like, those are more like campfire type that ordeals. Like, I mean, come
No,
on,
so
like,
it does have an orange and a yellow glow at times. But most of the lights that have been spotted are what color, Cassidy?
Purple.
Purple
And white.
and white
And green.
and blue
And blue. And red.
and orange.
And orange.
They
all the
transition.
colors.
this is just a fucking night rainbow.
Exactly.
It is a rainbow of the night.
And we're talking about streaks and streams, and sometimes it'll be a perfect ball that just hovers, and then it starts fucking moving.
It's really bizarre.
Which most of the accounts happened in the 90s, the 80s, the 70s, early 1900s. That's when most of the written accounts have happened, but it still consistently goes on. As a matter of fact, 2014, Appalachian State University sent a group of students and professors out, and they installed 2 low-light cameras on rooftops that overlook Brown Mountain and Linville Gorge, which is the exact area that they're seeing. And these cameras sat there, and this is modern technology that they were using. The cameras sat there and produced over 6,000 viewing hours worth of footage. And out of those 6,000 hours worth of footage, they did capture the lights, and they couldn't explain what the hell they were, because they got 6,000 hours worth of footage, and they can see, oh, that's an ATV. Oh, that's a campfire. That's a flashlight. And then all of a sudden, something else appears, and they're like, what the fuck is that? What the fuck is it? So, possibilities, Jerem, what do you think?
Well, because another thing that they mentioned too, there's a thing that they call the fate of the wise man's light, which was wrote into a song called The Legend of the Brown Mountain Lights by a guy named Scotty Wiseman.
Yeah, that'll be the song on this. That'll be
No,
the
it's
song
John.
on this video.
Yeah, John Wiseman, and the story came from his great uncle Scotty Wiseman, and apparently around 1854, young Wiseman's fate was camping at and he was at a view with his father when he noticed a flash of light in the distance. He found that the same momentary flash would appear at the same place on the horizon at the very exact same time each and every night, and he would often return to that same exact place at the expected time, and he would stare into the distance until he saw a glimpse of the lights. Now that's just a little weird, especially during that time, but at that time also, that could have been like, because when did like the Industrial Revolution start around this area? Could it have been something of that nature?
Behind. We were behind, first of all, so...
Oh, did I jump ahead? I'm sorry.
No, I'm saying we were behind. No, you jumped in the past. We had breezed past that. So the Wiseman story that you're talking about was one of the earlier publishings of it because he was camping and saw the lights, which is why it's known as is it Wiseman's Point, Wiseman's Lookout?
Yeah, Wiseman's View.
It's Wiseman's View.
Yeah.
It's named after him specifically because of that, and because he started going out and getting his buddies and bringing them back to let them see it too, and it was happening for them as well.
Yeah, but so what my take on it is, so when you're talking about in modern day times, yeah, you could pass it off as what is it Chad normally says, the old swamp gas over there. Or,
swamp gas is actually an explanation that a lot of people try to pass off. Whenever we were first researching it, that was the first thing that Cassidy leaned toward.
I was adamant, and then I started looking more into it, and it didn't really make too much sense considering how big these lights can appear and like how they just move around, like they get like these trails behind them. They stay as like perfect balls of light and just move around. It just didn't add up.
And there is a swamp, but it's 300 miles away.
Yeah.
That's not too far now. Oh shit! You just
300 miles. Whenever you're talking about the mountains and stuff like that, Jeremy.
Well, okay. So like I said, so like in modern day times, it could be anything. But if you go back to the point to where people still burning candlelight and they're just out there, and you could actually look up at the stars and see the galaxies and shit like that, and then you're seeing these strange lights that are closer to Earth than what you can see up in the sky with the galaxies. That's kind of a little bit more difficult to explain. So that part is what kind of baffles me about it.
Look at the image, Jeremy. Hit images. I know you've got it. Just hit images and take a look. I want you to see it, what they actually look like, because the multicoloredness to it is just kind of wild, and how it can change color and shape and move.
Just like these balls.
Not just balls. You'll see streaks and little swirls, and
there's like all different variations of these lights.
Yeah, like a blue streak that turns into it starts blue ball streak going into a purple streak. I mean, it looks like, back to a previous episode of a movie that Cassidy brought up, the color from, what was it, Color from Space?
The color out of space.
The color out of space.
Imagine if that's what it was, Cass.
That would be terrifying.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of what it makes me think of too, and also you can go back to Creepshow with Stephen King and George A. Romero. One of the stories in it is a meteor comes down, and it starts like turning everything into grass, and like grass grows over the person. But anyway, it lets off this green radiation light that starts making everything glow around it that's green, and it's like, burn. So that's what makes me come to my skepticalness. Since Chad can't be here with us today, somebody's got to do it. What if it's just an asteroid that has landed there? That's a very powerful asteroid. So my mind's still out there. It's even though I'm trying to be skeptical. It landed
there prior to the 1700s, and it keeps emitting light.
Yeah, because it's just kind of sunken deeper into the earth, and
hundreds of years later, it's still giving off light and stuff.
Well, whatever was inside of it kind of burrowed down into the earth and like slipped into a hole from the hollow Earth point down in there.
Some crazy monster that just refuses to die or something like that?
No, it's a light that comes from Hollow Earth, bringing it back, and it shines
a
out
demon
through North
die.
Carolina.
Watch it.
Yeah, it gets so goddamn muggy up there. No, but I mean, honestly, I'm trying to be skeptical as much as I can. But for it to continue, why is it in the same spot? Why hasn't it moved?
It's in that area. It's always in that area. It doesn't happen in the same spot on the mountain, but it's
Okay,
always in
hold
that
on.
area.
I got it real quick.
Okay.
Aurora Borealis up in the north. It's a natural thing that happens up in the same place in the north, like just that same atmosphere. Yeah. What if? What if?
Do it again.
What if? North Carolina has its own like version of that, because the Blue Ridge Mountains, some of the oldest mountains in the world, the Appalachian Mountains, oldest mountains in the world, like if not the oldest mountains. So what if they have their own
one
aura?
of?
So you think it's like messing up with like the magnetic field, possibly causing these lights to occur?
Well, think of it like this: this is the only mountain range that, in the evening time, all the carbon dioxide and different shit. I'm not too scientific, but all the stuff in the air makes the mountains glow blue. It's the only place that does that.
It's from the trees, though, and it doesn't have light to it. It's just like a blue hue.
Haze.
Yeah. Smoky.
But that is a theory I've not heard of before, which is interesting.
It could be it could be like a flying
a snapping turlock.
It could be one of those.
Stop.
But I'll tell you what it is. It's blue gold. And what did he tell us what he's done when he found blue gold?
Blue gold.
Blue gold.
He goes, ooh, blue gold.
Oh, blue gold. Yeah, he hit you with one of those from the Mummy. Okay, so we listened to a lot of the theories, and by we I mean Cass and I did. And she, like I said, was very adamant about the fact that it could have been swamp gas, but that's kind of ruled out.
I still have a theory about it.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying, like, the swamp gas thing's kind of ruled out. It's not radiation that's in the mountains, because then these hillbillies would all be fucking irradiated around that area, and it would be a lot bigger of an issue than just people coming to view the lights.
Well, what if that could explain people with the blue skin and stuff?
That's not in North Carolina.
It's
still
that's
Kentucky.
Still the same mountains.
That's incest, is what that is.
It's still the same mountains.
It's incest, though. And Kentucky can't claim a lot of our mountains, first of all.
You always heard that old song.
The little piece of Kentucky can fucking claim our mountains.
Well, yeah.
Georgia has more of the Appalachian Mountains in it than fucking Kentucky does, in my opinion.
But here's the thing you also got to think of, too. That little small part of Kentucky that has it has some of the craziest stories you hear about the Appalachian Mountains as well.
I'm not denying that they have hillbillies that are crazy. I mean, well, you got the what was the famous battle? The fucking the two families.
The Hatfields and the McCoys.
Yeah, the Hatfields and the McCoys. Yeah.
I thought that was more like West Virginia.
It's the Kentucky-West Virginia line. Yeah. See, that's when it starts getting crazy, because you're dabbling in old West VA. They thought they were better than us, leaving Virginia because of the South and the North thing, but we gave you the shittiest part of the state, and now you're out there just floating around and living in the mountains. Can't find flat ground to put a fucking house down on. Everybody's on a hillside. Jesus.
Yeah, Mothman flying around.
Mothman. You got a hot dog hut out there in a bus.
So think of all that then. So you bounce around from Kentucky, the little I can't remember their name, like the little white people that begins with the W of Kentucky. Those little creatures. I'm gonna Google it and I'll get back to you on that. So then you have that, and then around this area you have stories of a Wampus cat, black dog. You got Mothman, West Virginia, and then in North Carolina you
the creatures
have
of Kentucky were supposed to be aliens. Remember, didn't we do an episode on that where the family fought them off with guns and shit like that?
Oh, the goblins?
Yeah, they were.
Yeah.
But they were referenced as goblins so that they could turn it into a tourist attraction and have a festival every year, which they still have. That was a good episode that we did. But it was, if it was anything, it was literally an alien landed on their property and they started fighting it off with shotguns and rifles and shit. That's what it came down to.
But so that's what I'm saying. So you have that in Kentucky, and then in West Virginia you have Mothman. Here you have like a Wampus cat, and then also you got Goatman up in Northern Virginia, and
you
then
got the Loveland Frogman in Ohio.
Yeah, and then in North Carolina you have the Brown Mountain Lights. You have the Devil's Stomping Ground. I mean, you got multiple things.
Moon-eyed people, North Carolina.
Moon-eyed people. See, exactly. So I mean, and what if there's a connection somewhere, as far as like, because the Moon-eyed people, that was North Carolina too, correct?
North Carolina, South Carolina, and some parts of West Virginia.
So what if there is some sort of connection there, linking back to what I said, that maybe years ago an asteroid landed and there was just something that came out of that asteroid that morphed or opened up the gateway to Hollow Earth, and this is
You're stuck on this Hollow Earth thing.
I'll never let it go. Hey,
you know what I think whenever it comes to the cryptids.
New merch.
The
Sorry,
cryptids. I'll never let it go. The cryptids and things like that, minus aliens. I have always been the one to lean toward the crossover of dimensions. Like these things exist, but they're in another dimension that's just very parallel to us, and then every now and then they cross over, which is why they appear, and then just suddenly, all of a sudden, you can't fucking find the Mothman. All of a sudden, you can't fucking find Bigfoot. He's not teleporting. I think it's just like a crossover of dimensions, which is why I think that like Men in Black and shit get assigned to these cases, because they're trying to, keep that shit under wraps about the multi-dimension until now, until the 2020s, whenever they're just like, hey, God, by the way, there's multi-dimensional beings out here. We got spacecraft that are fucking not coming from space. They're traveling through dimensions. Has been said in Congress. So it's not far-fetched. You can't shake your head on that. That has been publicly stated that they are multi-dimensional beings that are visiting. That's on record, by the way.
I believe it, but I don't think Bigfoot's a part of it.
No, I think that he's somebody that's, because even
why not
multiple Native American tribes all across the North America have some story of him, and that there used to be groups of them that lived across like
that
together.
Doesn't mean that it's not a dimension thing, because this is just once again personal opinion, personally think that explains most ghost occurrences as well. That you're just in a very thin part of the dimension separation. The thinning of the veil, if you will. The veil being the thing that separates our dimension from the other. And that's the reason. So, not that it's an actual ghost, but it's somebody else living in that other dimension. And just like in Interstellar, where he's on the side of the bookcase and he's yelling at himself, it's the same thing. There's somebody else over there, and they're like, what the fuck is that? It sounds like a goddamn ghost is in here. When in reality, it's just you on the other side of the dimension going, what the fuck is that? There's something walking around in my house. But you guys are in the same house in alternate dimensions, thinking that each other's ghosts. And then maybe in that dimension, they have a Bigfoot that wanders the woods, and it's just normal. It's like a deer. Maybe they got Mothman flying around, and that's just normal.
Well, see, there's another
They're crossing streams like Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
See? Yeah. Don't cross
but
the
there's
stream.
another like explanation of it, like back in 1771, where someone was talking, John William Gerard de Brom. Thank God we got rid of.
Yeah, he's crazy as shit too.
Yeah, he was talking about how there's I guess kind of like sulfur also in the air of these mountains that could have been something like that.
Yeah, he's full of shit.
My last thing before I'll let you guys continue, because I felt like I've just said too much so far. you were talking about interdimensional things like that. Sometimes I just think that this planet is so old that there's just so much energy on here that we can't explain. That it's just here, and we can no longer connect with it like we used to because they've dumbed us down. So this is some shit that still pops up, and it's trying to like let us know, hey, this is reality. This is here. These lights and stuff that are flying around, the Brown Mountain lights, they're here. Okay, what they are, I don't know, but they're here.
I'll very much agree with the fact that humans are far more capable of many things that we are led to not believe that are real, and that we have been dumbed down on purpose so that we cannot tap into said things. And by dumbing down, I'm talking about, yeah, go ahead, everybody that's listening, roll your eyes. But I'm talking about pumping your shit, your food and your water and everything else full of bullshit. Like, they're not doing it for shits and gigs. Why else would one country do it and another country forbid it? I mean, there's just some weird stuff to that. But that's not necessarily what I'm leaning toward on the Brown Mountain lights. I don't know what it is. Cassidy has a pretty good theory, and I think it's probably the best theory that I've heard so far. And I won't poke holes in it yet, but her and I both also, when she presented the theory, and I was like, ooh, you might be right, we also found some possible holes in said theory. But I'll let her tell you what she thinks that it could be.
Okay, so most mountains consist of, different minerals, and when you expose those minerals under certain conditions, it can create chemical reactions. So Brown Mountain in particular, it is composed of a lot of Precambrian rock. So keep in mind, a lot of the Appalachian Range was underwater in the initial beginnings of its life. Yeah, there's the little crab. So there's like a lot of, there's like, what did I say it was? Was it argon?
And potassium.
Argon and potassium. So argon comes from, so I am no expert on this topic. I'm kind of talking out of my butt right now, but this is kind of what I've read. I believe it comes from alpha decay, which stems, is that from radiation? Is that correct, Beard?
I'm not sure. That's weird. Don't.
Say it sounds. Well, that's your name on here. Okay.
I know. This is weird. No, I don't know. I know it for argon to react how you're wanting in your explanation for it to react. It would have to be highly decayed. Yes, what it comes from is not in my field of knowledge.
Right, mine either. But from what I read, when argon and potassium kind of come together, it can create, and under certain conditions, it can create this kind of glow. So, which is purple and green.
Yeah, it is violet.
And there's also, and violet. So, there's also calcium carbonate on most mountain ranges as well, which can create like red kind of chemical reactions as well, which, kind of covers the spectrum of lights that most people do see. Could it also be methane gas? It's very possible because, again, that area was completely underwater millions of years ago, so we don't really know what is under the mountain range.
Yeah, which would represent, which would explain like all the limestone around here because coming from underwater. Yeah.
So Cassidy pitched those ideas to me, and they made a lot of sense. But there was one ever-looming thing that I knew from chemistry class that has to happen for any of that to take place. And that would be some sort of ignition. And if shit were just catching fire in the middle of the fucking woods, then the whole goddamn mountainside would be lit up. But that's not the point. It can burn, as Cassidy pointed out, without catching everything on fire. The issue here is that what random ignition is happening in those mountains? There's not any. for it to just randomly happen over hundreds of years, it's not happening. So, with Cassidy's theory in mind, I started looking up could those things still give off that color without some sort of ignition, without some sort of fire to it, right? They can, but for potassium and argon to do that, you have to combine them together in a controlled, closed area and expose them to an ass load of steady electricity. So that would require for these lights to only be seen directly after a thunderstorm or during a thunderstorm, and it would have to be a lightning strike that's happening at just the right place where potassium and argon are at in the mountain and causing those lights to happen. The issue with that part is that these lights have been seen when there's no thunderstorms going on.
So I've got something for you there. Okay, so when you look at grounding, anybody who knows what grounding is, like when you're outside, they said is spend a lot of time without shoes on and socks on outside in the grass because it's more connected with the nature. You're grounding yourself more. Okay, anyway. So what creates a stronger ground with it is when you put copper in it, and you can stand on a copper rod that swirls, and it charges you more along with that, because electricity, if people think about lightning storms and stuff, it doesn't come from the clouds like you said. It comes from the ground and shoots up, even though it looks like it's shooting down.
Yeah.
So that's still there, even without a thunderstorm.
But once again, for a consistent, steady stream of electricity to happen, there has to be certain conditions that are always met. And these balls of light and strings of light and streams of light don't only happen before or after or during a thunderstorm. They'll just happen.
And then here's where this comes into play. Talking about the Blue Ridge Mountains and stuff. So what causes it to be blue? The atmospheric haze, the water vapor, and particles scatter light, creating a blue appearance mixed with tree emissions. So the trees release, I was not good at science. Isoprene, which contributes to the blue hue, combined with sunlight in the evening. And the higher the elevation, the more that changes, mixed with the humidity and temperature. So all that mixed together
would not cause potassium and argon to give off this violet color. You'd have
unless there's something under the mountain holding electricity.
Something mysterious under the mountain. So she brought up the calcium carbonate thing. So I was like, okay, let's dig into that, because it could give off some of the color that we're seeing as well. The calcium carbonate can only do so if you don't have ignition, if there's not fire. The calcium carbonate can only do so if it is sitting in an area with temperatures higher than 2,300 degrees Celsius.
That's hot.
There wouldn't be a goddamn mountainside left if it was sitting in temperatures like that.
So that threw that theory out the window. So we have something out there creating all these different lights that you typically see in like a chemical reaction of some kind, but no one knows where the heck it's coming from.
The crazy part is that whenever her and I were looking up that stuff, because certain chemical reactions will give off different colors, right? Right, Jerem?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So like the argon and potassium give off a violet color. The calcium gives off like a reddish orange color. And then you get into krypton giving off a certain color.
Methane is blue.
So all these different elements, when ignited, give off different colors. The craziest part is that the Brown Mountain lights do the full fucking spectrum of these mineral colors without ignition that we can see. So unless there's some sort of ongoing, eternal fire that's burning inside of the Appalachian Mountain at Brown Mountain. I don't really know how the mineral thing could happen. There are scientists that said, oh, well, it could be the tectonic plates rubbing together, causing friction and making that ignite underneath the mountain, which is making the minerals burn and give off. But they couldn't find any signs of any tectonic activity, any earthquakes or anything like that that's happening in the Appalachian Mountains to give off that over the course of hundreds of years.
Okay.
Is that?
Go ahead.
Go ahead. No, you go ahead.
No, what I'm about to say, you go ahead.
Has there actually been like studies on like seismic activity in the Appalachian
Yeah,
Mountains?
there have been small earthquakes and things like that, but it's very few and fucking far between is the kind of the issue with that. And it's not significant.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, like, does it have to be significant to cause like a reaction like that? Well, I mean, I guess it would. It would.
No, it wouldn't have to be super significant because what they're saying is that the friction causes some sort of spark underground, which would cause enough spark for, just as an example, the potassium and the argon to put off the violet blue color. But the issue is that it would have to happen enough times for people to see them consistently. And the other issue that we ran into, Jerm, if it is these minerals, right? Let's say that there is something sparking the minerals to make that color. The other issue that Cassidy and I ran into is, how's it making a perfect ball? How does that perfect ball hover and then start turning into streams and moving around and down the mountain into the streams and shit like that?
And go back into a ball.
And then go back into a ball.
Ball of lightning.
You can't just take...
Ball of lightning.
That was another thing that was brought up, but it's another rare occurrence. So it's not just that it's making the color, but it's also moving, hovering, going up, going down, going across the trees, going into the river, around the mountain. It's fucking moving while it's changing colors and shit, which makes it another issue into possible minerals and ignition and so on and so forth, because that would happen. You see swamp gas and that just kind of hovers and it moves along. It's not turning into fucking streams and going around fucking treetops and going down the mountain into the valley and coming back up, which has been reported with this, and it's just real strange.
It's strange. It's so weird.
So think of it like this. Do you remember in the 90s when they had, well, I guess I should say 80s/90s, those little electric balls that had electricity going through it, and then you stuck your hand to it and it would follow? Okay?
Yeah.
So no matter what, yeah, it would look like it would try to separate over here, but it would separate and then come back and connect. So that some sort of energy within, like, so
some
like
of
I
those
said, whatever cheese in the air of these mountains, it makes it still connected to that ball, but every now and then it's going to shoot in like streaks.
Which I think some of those were done with electricity and plasma, but the issue with that is that what's one thing that you had to have for that ball to work?
Electricity.
A constant, steady stream of it.
Which the Earth has a constant, steady stream beneath it. And what I was going to say is, nobody knows how big the Mammoth Cave is. Okay?
What the fuck's that got to do with the price of rice in China?
Hollow Earth.
Well,
oh God, here we go again. Fuck me.
Well, because listen, if we're trying to connect it back, because we got really scientific on this, and
we did attempted to.
Yeah, so that's the noise they're making below us. So, no, so like if it is like sort of like other beings below those caves, like they try to say that those caves don't make their way to North Carolina, but they also say there's parts that you can't go through. They said there's one cave that is so deep,
it's not been
like
fully mapped.
It's not been fully mapped. And then there's even one part of the cave that's so deep they won't allow people to go down it. And Native Americans used to say that they would hear voices from down in that hole.
It's
So
such a huge cave that it's got its own lake at some point in the fucking cave. They know that for sure. Like it's got its own full. Like you have to get in a goddamn canoe to fucking.
I didn't
yeah,
know
so
this.
Yeah,
so like,
Mammoth
what if
Cave is
it's like
huge. It
the
goes across half the
natural?
U.S. that we know of.
Yeah, so like, what if it's like the natural beings of Earth, like the spiritualness, um, that is underneath that creates it through these mountains, where these mountains are so old, and plus with all the, I can't even go back with all the words and shit you were saying, Cassidy, earlier, but all that stuff, all that mixed together with one creating this. I mean, would I say aliens? The only reason I don't want to say aliens is because why, as big as the Appalachian Mountains are, why in the hell would you just stay in North Carolina in that small little area?
Maybe they're in the mountain.
I have a theory. So you know how last episode I said I referenced Skinwalker Ranch, right? How there's reports of UFOs coming down into the mountains or canyons or what have you. And you mentioned Mammoth Cave. What if they're going down into like one of these cave systems or coming to like charge
Yeah.
their
If
ships?
you're hiding on Earth and you're not hiding in plain sight in a human suit, you're gonna hide one of two places. You're gonna hide in the ocean, deep at the bottom where we can't get to you, or you're gonna hide deep in the fucking Earth where we can't get to you. Which is why you see videos of UFOs going into fucking volcanoes and shit like that, coming out
Yeah.
of them.
And if you look at the pyramids, not even just the pyramids in Egypt, the pyramids of Giza and stuff, they all align with the stars. Has anybody ever tried to align these mountains with a certain star system?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, the mountains are just a
I
natural
doubt
occurrence,
it.
but
Yeah.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, there's certain spots in Earth, like with those pyramids and stuff like that, that have such a strong, like, what phosphoric or whatever the hell, like all kinds of natural shit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Gas.
such strong gases and natural
Tums.
energy in it. Did you say tums?
you said gases, I said tums.
Oh, so
Tums.
yeah. So
Pepto.
like, what if that is like a spot here? It's like,
It could be. It could be like a
like with
giant
what you said with,
charging center.
yeah, like with what you said with the Skinwalker Ranch. Like, because as soon as you said that, I was like, well, yeah. Why in the hell did they spend their time just in that one tiny spot?
Yeah, Skinwalker Ranch isn't nothing special. It's just maybe the fact that that's where, one of their bases is. There could be several thousand that we don't even
There
know
could
about.
be. The only difference, though, between that location and Brown Mountain is that there are traces of radiation in that vicinity. So, and there's no radiation coming from Brown Mountain as far as anyone can detect.
Yeah.
So there's still something weird going on up there for sure.
Yeah, unbelievably weird, unexplainable. We were hoping to try to poke holes in it. We come up
It's
with
like it's like there could be something underneath the mountain.
something that we don't know about. That's a scientific possibility that we just don't know that's deep in the mountain. Hollow Earth, I guess, whatever. One thing that we can definitely say is that in order for any of the scientific stuff to happen, you would have to have damn near perfect conditions with the science as we know it currently.
What if that's
Every time that they appear, you'd have to have perfect condition.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, what if it's that little speck right there that you just can't get out of your cubes, and you're like,
even
right
then,
there,
it doesn't explain to how it's moving or how it's holding perfect shape at some points in time, and so on and so forth. So, something to dig into. Something for everybody to think about. We did our research. Go do yours.
Yeah.
Comment
well,
on what. Go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, so are we all on the same page? Like, do we all?
Oh,
are
yeah.
we all just
Thoughts?
like, what the fuck?
I mean, my thought is that I don't know. I can't explain it. I don't have the theory that she had was the best one that I've heard so far. Cass?
I tried to poke holes in this from every angle that I could, and I can't really pin it down to one particular thing, so I have no idea. I have no clue.
I want to try to get, like I said, my mind immediately goes a little bit out there. I do think that it's something to do with something in the mountain. That's the only thing that I could think of. I don't know. This is one I can't say. Ball of lightning. I'm sorry, Chad. I know you're going to hear. I tried to be you. For
Well, I mean, I want to say something scientific since Cass brought that up, but I couldn't find anything that worked perfectly unless there were perfect conditions. Some people say that it's ghosts. That doesn't make sense to me either. The alien thing, I mean, the only way that makes sense is if they're literally hiding in the mountain. But even then, what are they, just popping out every now and then to go, ooh, look at me, and then they disappear? Like, I mean, I don't really know. It's not a cryptid because it's not an animal. I mean, I guess it could be. Maybe it's a cryptid that we don't know about that's just lighting up and then it appears in the mountains and disappears, kind of like how Bigfoot appears and disappears. Maybe that's a possibility, but I don't know. I think that's the consensus, right? On the
end this on a question mark.
Yeah, a big question mark. Big IDK. Well, if anybody that's listening thinks that they know, comment. If you're listening on Spotify, we got the comment section. In case you're new listening, we like to pick the favorite comments from the listeners the previous episode and on the new episode. So next week we will read those and we will respond to you. We don't just leave your comments out there. We'll respond to you live and give you a shout out. So let us know what you think, whether it be on social media or whether it be in Spotify or Apple or what have you. We'll get all of those and respond. But I don't. If you've seen them, let us know. If you've got pictures that you've seen them, send them to us. I'll gladly post them.
Want to see?
Yeah, exactly. We want to see.
Show me.
We'll do it live. We'll do it live.
Yeah.
We'll put your stuff on live and give you $1,000. No, we don't have $1,000. Jeremy knows what I'm talking about.
On there, boozy.
Put you on live. I'll give you $1,000. Anyways, thank you for listening to the Halloween 365 podcast. You can catch all of our socials, our shop, everything that you can follow, listen, watch on linktree.com/Halloween365 podcast. And until then, what do they need to do, Jeremy? How do they need to stay?
Oh, as always, baby, stay spooky.